I'm Catherine Goshen, a professional astrologer from the village of Nyack in New York State, and I'm passionate about in-depth astrology and getting to the heart of the matter. In this video, we're going to talk about Taurus Sun and Rising for 2022, and I invite you to first listen to your rising sign, then your sun sign, and possibly your moon sign if you wish. As always with my videos, please take a day or two on either side of any dates I give. This is particularly pertinent when I'm speaking of new or full moons, lunar eclipses, and so forth. It depends on what time zone in the world you're in. So be fluid with the dates. They're very general. This is a general forecast, but it can certainly give you an idea of the planetary energies that are available for you to work with during 2022. So Taurus, lots of positive houses in your chart are being activated this year. You will have the bountiful planet Jupiter activating mainly your house where we deal with rewards from work, money earned from work, hopes, ideals, goals, expansion, friends. So I invite you to start to think along these lines. Can 2022 be a year for you where you increase the revenue that you bring in from work, where you increase your friendship circle, and where you either fulfill or you start to set in motion some plans to fulfill a lifelong goal of yours or a great dream? There is practical energy available for you to put this into motion. So start to dream, start to journal, start to make your lists, and have a vision for 2022. And we'll go through a little later when this is most appropriate to activate during the year. But as a global theme, start to think along those lines. The other area activated is the house dealing with study, travel, philosophy, astrology, spirituality. So I invite you to also look into those areas. Your ruling planet is going to have a retrograde period this year. And this is unusual because Venus goes retrograde very seldom, just under approximately every 2 years, so about every 18 months, only for a period of about 40-45 days. So it's very rare for you to have your ruling planet going retrograde, and this is a wonderful time for reflection. So often during a retrograde period, our relationships will come under review. Stressful situations may arise, many of them which have already been set in motion in the past. And they are going to come up again in order to be reviewed and for the wound that has been in that relationship to be healed. So I invite you, especially in the early months of 2022, January, February, and the first week in March, to look deeply at your relationships. If you are in a committed relationship, that's the time to work on it and to bring out into the open, to discuss anything which is brewing below the surface and you feel needs to come up to be healed. The other thing which may surface in the first few months of the year is money concerns, things that have to be revisited about how you manage your money, and especially if you are in a partnership. Maybe your partner's money will come under review. Maybe you need to sit down and talk about money, how you manage it, how you're going to deal with it in 2022. But regardless, it's an opportunity to bring things out and to heal them. From March onwards, there are plenty of opportunities to fill up the coffers, to make more money, and we'll talk more about that. But those first few months, review. Don't overspend. Don't redecorate the house. I suggest you don't buy a lot of clothes or do a makeover, because what can tend to happen during a Venus retrograde is that once the retrograde period is over, we regret some of the decor choices that we've made and things need to be redone anyway. There is a video that I've made on Venus retrograde periods. I will post that below. But in general, just see it as a slow start to the year, a time for review and getting everything in order, and then things are really going to take off for you later. Those of you that are born round about May 2nd to May 10th are going to have a tremendous amount of activity with regards to change this year. This would also affect those of you that have a Taurus ascendant between the degrees of 11 and 19. So there's a potential for advancement, to take your life to a higher level. There's the potential to move home or to relocate to a new city. And there's also this potential to really step up in your career. So if you are in that zone, be prepared for change and welcome it in. This is wonderful, Taurus. Sometimes change is challenging for you, but when Uranus visits you, it's time to open the doors to change and to really allow the flow to come in. For those of you born around May 3rd to May 14th, you're going to have a very structured energy coming in, either to your sun or ascendant, to help you to grow and overcome obstacles at work so that you can further your ambition. And of course, some of you fall into both of those categories. But this is a cycle that we get once every 7 years. And it can be incredibly helpful to cement any professional changes that you may have been thinking about making in 2021. And now you're going to really be encouraged to take that step, make the changes in 2022, because you have the support of your structural planet, which is coming in to really offer you a chance to step up and to increase work responsibilities and to really grow your ambition. And then finally, for those of you born around the 16th to the 19th of May, you're going to have a lot of positive energy coming in for self-empowerment, self-assertion, to focus on your goals and to increase taking command of your life. So I invite all of you in those groups, and as I say, take a day or two on either side. They are very fluid categories. Make use of them. So now let's see what's in store for you, Taurus, month by month in 2022. So Taurus, the year gets off to a relatively slow start for you, and this may be a blessing. Take your time, review study material if that's what you're doing. If you're traveling, take it easy. If you have some financial concerns, for example, refinancing the house, whatever you're doing in January, take it slow and take your time. Don't rush about. There's no need. Don't try to do everything and get it completed. Start the year on a slow pace and all will be well. As January comes to an end, things start to liven up for you. Venus, your ruling planet, moves forward at the end of January and starts to pick up steam in that house of study, of travel, of spirit. Good energy comes in, faster moving energy. Mars enters that same part of your chart, so you have a lot of action going on. And I really invite you to kick off February in a big way. Get active, get exercising, get studying, get working, get doing whatever you do. and start to put yourself out there. Then March 6 is a big week for you, so pay attention to what's going on around the week of March 6, Taurus. Possibly you're going to experience something that relates all the way back to December 20th of 2020. And possibly you're also really going to start to activate in your house of career at this time. I see you potentially starting a new job. Possibly you've got a promotion at work. But there really is a lot of energy coming in this week into your house of career. So make a note in your diary and see what happens if you're just working an ordinary job in terms of that you have no hope for promotion or you're self-employed. Then I invite you to strategize around that week. It's a powerful week. If you're in a business, put yourself out there. You're going to get a lot of positive feedback, and March is very much focused on work. If you don't work, let's say you're a stay-at-home mom, something of that sort, let's use March to possibly volunteer or to do something within the community. You want to utilize the energies and you want to put yourself out there. It's a good month for you, Taurus. Then April, Taurus, is a positive month for magnetizing and practically embodying your hopes and dreams. So around April 12th, there is a beautiful energy, a coming together of the planets Jupiter and Neptune. That will be for everyone on this earth, and it is to raise the spiritual vibration of the planet. For you, Taurus, this is going to take place in the house of your chart that represents your goals, your hopes, and your dreams. So it is a very powerful time for you to magnetize, to bring into fruition, to bring into consciousness what you really wish for in your life. Be aware of illusions or delusions and focus on the highest possible good, not only for you, but for your tribe, for your country, for your world. And bring in those positive vibrations. Around April 15, you'll have action planet Mars also enter into that same area. So a positive month to bring money in from work, to activate goals, to bring those dreams and hopes into practical manifestation. You also have around the 20th, the start of your birthday month. So happy birthday, Taurus. I wish you a beautiful year ahead. And you're building up from that moment that the sun enters Taurus. There's a build up to a special new moon, which is a solar eclipse that's going to take place around April 30th in your sign, at around 10 degrees of Taurus. So I invite you from the 20th until after the solar eclipse has passed to relax a little bit. You'll have had a very active week before. We've just discussed all that energy that's coming in. Then 7 or so days before the eclipse, relax a little, take it easy, don't rush about, as you allow those eclipse energies to do their work. After the eclipse, with your new moon intentions set, you are then free to go once again into manifestation and to start implementing those hopes and dreams that you worked on in the early to middle part of April. For those of you who have birthdays around May 4th, May 5th, May 6th, looks like a very exciting birthday for you this year, because your sun will receive a visit from spiritual planet and rule breaker Uranus. So I wish you a very fulfilling birthday at this time. Once again, not a very good time to do silly things like racing around, speeding and all that. it is better to use that spiritual energy that is coming from Uranus for meditation, for going deeply into whatever you do to nourish your spiritual self. And it is also a wonderful time for all Taurus to have breakthroughs. Taurus is generally receiving incredible amounts of energy from the planet Uranus at this time, and this allows for deep breakthroughs both on a spiritual and an emotional level, and also on a technological level. We are seeing so many breakthroughs in terms of the electronic currencies, Bitcoin, because the planet Uranus is in the earth sign of Taurus, and it is suggesting the revolution of the way that we deal with money and the exchange of money. The week of May 10 is very important, Taurus, so make a note of that, because this is when benevolent planet Jupiter switches signs and will make a shift into your solar house, which deals with the place where you like to be private, where you step back a little from the fray and you take some time to be out of the limelight, to be out of the public eye. So you're going to have Jupiter there for a few months in this area of your chart, allowing you to take all those dreams and goals that you put out there in the first part of the year and to rework them, or to let them ferment a little bit in the darkness, in privacy, so that they can come out again later on in the year. Action planet Mars will simultaneously be moving into this area of your chart a week later. So another opportunity to spend 3 or 4 weeks resolving any issues that have come up and generally allowing yourself a little bit of time to relax. And I see you relaxing for a large part of June. If you're able to lighten your workload just a little bit, to kick back on your schedule, do so. June looks like that kind of time. You'll have your ruling planet, Venus, moving into Taurus, your sign, at the very end of May, and she'll be there for most of June. So enjoy that visit from Venus. Enjoy having that quiet time activated, that private time, and give yourself a chance. We need downtime in order to then step out again and give ourselves to the world. Taurus, the next big shift is around the week of July 5th, where suddenly there's an energy surge and Mars enters your ascendant or your sun sign, and you feel a renewed sense of energy and a wish to step out and make yourself seen. And this seems to continue on for the next couple of months. Around August the 20th, there is a big shift though, because suddenly there's going to be a concentration of energy in your house of finances. And this is going to remain there all the way until March of 2023. And there's going to be increasing opportunities for you to make more money or to bring money in a different way. There's going to be a diversified opportunity for more sources of income. So it's from around August the 20th all the way until March the 20th of 2023. So I invite you to put your feelers out in July and the early part of August. Maybe you're going to be taking on a second job. Maybe you're going to be studying trading or business. Whatever the case, this is a really good time to activate that house of finances, the house of resources. And remember, this is also the area of your chart that rules your self-worth and how you feel about yourself. So I see you as having opportunities to increase feelings of self-worth and to finally have put behind you many of the things that you were working on at the beginning part of the year in terms of relationships. You're now feeling strong and you're feeling confident enough to showcase what you've studied or to put out there what you know and to start doing something new to increase your salary in whatever way that is, Taurus. September 5th to around the 28th, so most of September, Taurus, it looks like you're very busy with children, but that there is some kind of tension between work and children. Possibly you're working hard and you have to juggle your time around that month. The kids are going back to school. Maybe there's a new adjustment for you. Also, whether you have children or not, that could also represent creativity. So there could be tensions between creative projects that you're busy with. Maybe you're writing a book, maybe you're an artist producing work, and yet you have this financial obligation that you have to fulfill. So I see tensions in September, and the secret will be, how do you manage and how do you juggle those two different areas of your life? September's like a test that it's inviting you to overcome that in some way. Can you juggle your creative side and your finances, or your children and your work successfully? Enjoy them both, make time for them both. And can you produce art that is also financially viable? So put that in the diary for September and figure it out. The universe is saying to you, it's really time to figure that out. October looks like a wonderful time to either go on a diet, renew your exercise program, or possibly take a holistic view of your health. I see you taking care of things that may have been a little bit neglected throughout the year, and really putting your mind to working out, looking good, and feeling great. There is a lot of action around the third week of October, especially for those of you born 8th, 9th, or 10th of May. We're going to have a slow forward moving motion at that time of the planet that rules ambition. And you will slowly feel that if there's been something in your career or life that has been stagnating for a month or two, this is slowly going to move forward now and pick up steam. Also, at the very end of October, so the last week in October on into the first week in November, we're going to have that beautiful, bountiful planet Jupiter of good fortune move back into your home of dreams, hopes, and ambitions. And many of the plans that you started in the first part of 2022 are now going to be able to come to fruition in the final 2 months of the year. So make a note that November should be all systems go, and any groups that you're in, any friendship groups, again, these are the areas that you want to be paying attention to during this time. On the 7th or 8th of November, there will be a full moon lunar eclipse in your sign, Taurus. So if you're a Taurus sun, it will take place in the house where your sun is. And if you are a Taurus ascendant, it's going to take place either in your 12th or your first house. You can check that out if you have your chart. The degree of the eclipse is 16 degrees of Taurus. So remember that a week before the eclipse, we like to lay low. We don't want to rush about, and we don't want to make any major decisions if we can help it. Remember, it's not always possible. But if we have a choice, sometimes more information comes to light after that full moon eclipse. So we want to be in a good situation where we don't regret a decision we made, and we can rather make it better after November 8th or 9th. And a full moon always brings things to fruition, Taurus. So work on things, do your best, and hopefully something will really come into fruition at this time for you. And finally, Taurus, on around December the 10th, Venus is going to move into that same house where she began the year for you. Remember, we spoke about the retrograde period and all that action there. This time she's going to enter that same area of your chart, but there will not be a retrograde. So if there are any concerns in your relationships or in your financial situation that you need to take care of at the beginning of 2022, I see them resolving at the end of 2022, and that's wonderful. So look forward to that. Look forward to that, reaping the results of the hard work that you put in this year and kicking back and having a wonderful end to the year. As always, if you found this video at all helpful, thank you for liking and subscribing. I love to have your comments. Please continue to post them. And if you are serious about studying astrology, I invite you to apply for my year-long course, which begins in 2022 September. That's all for now. Have a beautiful year, Taurus.